We know awkward fighters. Real fighters know awkward fighters. He's not an awkward fighter. He's just a dumb fighter.
You trying to kill me or I'm trying to kill you. I think it's let's go in here and make this money. It's more of a business tactic than anything.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds.
At the press conference, Gervonta Davis turned up the heat by directly threatening Jake Paul with a bold warning. He made it clear that he plans to end the fight in brutal fashion, leaving no room for doubt about the result. Davis said he is coming to knock Jake out and secure the payday, showing complete confidence in both his power and determination.
He's a fighter that's just started fighting. That's, you know how when somebody first come in the gym and yeah. When somebody first come in the gym and they've been coming for like a little minute, so they think they nice now. They ain't get all the everything down packed, but that's how he fight. I don't think he's an awkward fighter. Awkward is somebody, I don't want to call no names, but awkward is different from him. He's not awkward. We know awkward fighters. Real fighters know awkward fighters. He's not an awkward fighter. He's just a dumb fighter.
Eddie Hearn didn't hold back when giving his thoughts on the unusual matchup between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. He said there's a big difference between real boxing and stage entertainment, and this fight clearly belongs to the latter. According to him, it's not about skill or sporting credibility, but simply a show meant to grab attention. Hearn even laughed at the idea, calling it hilarious and warning people not to confuse such exhibitions with true professional boxing. His reaction shows a concern many traditional boxing promoters have, that entertainment-style fights are starting to overshadow the real essence of the sport.
We're getting Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. What can you tell me about that? What can you tell me about why Jake and Anthony has maybe been put to the side for now?
Yeah, they always told us that it was, we were looking at that fight for February of next year, and they always said that there was a chance that Jake would fight in November. I think, wasn't I the one that broke Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis 6 months ago or something? I knew that they'd agree that deal. I didn't know they were about to announce it then. But I did know that they'd agreed that deal previously. So I don't like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and an entertainment concept, and that's what that is. It's a freak show. It's entertainment. It's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight. With, I don't know, is it bigger gloves and certain minutes per round. I don't know what it is, but I understand the market and I understand this freak show shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, but it did massive numbers. I hate Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis. It'll probably do massive numbers. So that's when you really have to differentiate yourself between. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't going to do good business. However, you want to be involved with it is another kettle of fish. I don't want to be involved with it, but I do respect the fact that it's going to do big numbers.
Ariel Helwani shared a different view by noting that fans in MMA often accept and even enjoy unusual matchups. But when the same thing happens in boxing, the reaction is mostly negative. He called this an unfair double standard. Helwani argued that while the Davis versus Paul fight isn't traditional boxing, it still offers entertainment value that people will enjoy. He stressed that the fight shouldn't be judged like a title match or an official championship event, but rather as a one-time show. In his opinion, if fans can embrace spectacle fights in other combat sports, boxing fans should also be able to enjoy this contest without so much criticism.
Fight at generally, I'm sure it'll be a little bit closer, maybe 200 to 150. How much bigger can Tank get? Why would that be somewhat celebrated in MMA, but in boxing it isn't? Do you know what I mean, Pizzi? In MMA, we sort of love the freak shows, but in boxing they don't. Why do you think that is? What does that say about us in MMA?
Well, we're a sick bunch of fucks. There's no doubt about that. But I will say,
you agree, right, or no?
Yeah. The idea of the MMA freak show is everybody coming together and saying, "Oh, we're gonna watch a freak show. This is what this is. We know what this is. It is absolutely mental what we're gonna watch here." I think where people get annoyed with Jake is like, he even got me. You know what I mean? This guy is the greatest outrage farmer of all time. I saw his tweet and I was like, reading it, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, this is exactly what he fucking wants me to do. Like this is every time I'm doing this, he's in the game of getting eyeballs, and this is ridiculous. As long as why do I like an MMA freak show? Why would I watch Eddie Hall in an MMA fight against Dylan Dennis? I'll be like, this is fucking ridiculous, and I have to watch it. That's the way I feel about Jake Paul and Davis. I will watch it. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's all of us getting together to go to the circus for the evening. I think the reason why there's pushback against it when Jake does it is because Jake, and obviously tactfully, is going like, what are you talking about? This guy's a world champion. I took out Mike Tyson. He's a world champion. And then I'm going to take out Canelo and stuff like this. Like he's winding us up. He's not agreeing to the stipulation that we're all agreeing on, which is this is a freak show. This is absolutely mental. As long as we can agree with that, we can all enjoy it collectively.
Chael Sonnen was more critical, openly dismissing Jake Paul's ability as a boxer. He argued that the Paul brothers aren't known for real boxing skills, but instead use their fame and money to land fights with big names. Sonnen pointed out the pattern of Jake picking opponents who are legends or respected fighters, despite the clear gap in technical ability. To him, these fights aren't about fairness or competition, but about using influence and cash to grab attention. His sharp criticism echoed the view of many who believe this matchup is more about money than genuine boxing talent.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're going to do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're going to spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Tank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
The size difference between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul is one of the biggest debates around this exhibition. Davis is a natural lightweight, while Paul competes closer to cruiserweight, creating a huge weight gap. This has sparked speculation that the fight might already be predetermined. Some analysts argue that no matter the outcome, Jake Paul gains more from it than Davis. If Jake wins, he earns credibility by beating a star boxer, but if Davis wins, critics will dismiss it because of the size mismatch. These doubts have fueled rumors that the result could be fixed to boost Paul's career.
100%.
He should beat Jake Paul, shouldn't he?
No, he shouldn't.
But you don't think? Sorry. So, I thought we were all unanimous here. Do you think that
shouldn't?
You think Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis?
£70 is £70.
Gervonta Davis is very small. 5'5".
He's tiny, bro.
5'5".
That's
You
what I'm
got
saying.
Jake Paul
He's a
6'1".
little man.
If Jake Paul's tucking up,
move on,
and absorbing punishment for walking forward, then look, there's a weight advantage.
Ryan Garcia compared this event to past controversial matchups in boxing, like the exhibition fights involving Mike Tyson that fans never really asked for. He admitted that people don't want to see Davis versus Paul either, but pointed out that boxing often pushes forward with these kind of spectacles anyway. Garcia stressed that Davis is much smaller than Paul, making the fight unfair from the beginning. In his view, even if fans feel uneasy about the matchup, they will eventually have to accept it because the hype and money behind it are too strong to ignore.
Bro, that's a fucking disgrace of a fight.
Yeah.
You know it. Just like the Mike Tyson, low-key was a disgrace, but we accepted it. But
Yeah.
he was 60 years old. I mean,
Right.
the casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're going to think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis, he's actually really small. Like, when I fought him, he's small.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a very unfair fight.
Jake Paul stirred up more drama by taunting Gervonta Davis with one of his trademark publicity stunts. In a video, Paul smashed a cake shaped like Davis, mocking him in front of fans. The act was meant to embarrass and provoke Davis, while also creating a buzz online. Known for being a master promoter, Paul achieved exactly that, making headlines and adding fuel to the rivalry. The destruction of the tank-shaped cake reminded everyone that Paul thrives on mind games and spectacle just as much as he does on actual fighting. Watching Gervonta Davis step into the ring against someone as big as Jake Paul will feel surreal. The size difference is almost laughable, but Davis holds clear advantages in skill, speed, and defense. His footwork lets him move quickly around the ring and avoid heavy punches, while Paul will try to rely on his size and reach. Landing clean shots on a smaller and elusive fighter like Davis won't be easy. Davis's defense and counterpunching could create openings despite the height and weight gap. The real intrigue of this fight lies in that clash, skill versus size.
So crazy. Why is Gervonta Davis fighting a guy that big? There is some interest to that because you're not going to see Gervonta Davis. You're going to be able to see Gervonta Davis's feet. That's what I'm going to be interested to see because I don't think Gervonta is going to jump out there and try to run up into Jake Paul and try to knock Jake Paul out. What I think Gervonta is going to do is Gervonta is going to move his feet, just going to move, make Jake Paul miss a lot, make Jake Paul look really dumb just by using defense on him and making him swing at the wind because that is going to be very tough for him to hit a guy that is that little. If you play basketball, for example, and you are a tall 6'1" guy and you try to stand in front of some 5'8", real quick 5'8" guy, trust me, their first steps are gone up out of there, those little teeny weeny dudes. So that's going to be very fun and interesting to watch how that goes down. Now, on the other side, you know what Jake Paul is going to do. He don't have no consciousness. He doesn't have a conscience about what he's trying to do. He's going to go in there and try to hurt a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. He don't care. He wanted to Nate. He's way bigger than Nate Jones when he fought Nate Jones. You think he didn't care about hitting Nate Jones upside the head? He's definitely going to be looking to try to get as much as he can get off on Gervonta Davis and I see him trying to run up on him, trying to maul him, trying to grab him, trying to club him, trying to do all kind of craziness, man. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch. Now, let me tell you what I really hope, and I haven't seen for this particular card, but I know that I know it's going to be good, which is the undercard. The undercard for the Canelo Alvarez fight and Terrence Crawford fight is absolutely horrendous. There's nothing on the thing that would make you want to watch to tune into that thing.
This fight isn't just about boxing. It's about pride, power, and the clash of two worlds. Will Gervonta's skill silence the critics? Or will Jake Paul shock the sport yet again? One thing's certain. The drama is only just beginning. Stay locked in. Drop your predictions in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.